Welcome back to the show, everybody. Boy, we got one for you today. We've talked about XRP being the possible global stablecoin. So why is Ripple talking about global stablecoin race? This is getting good, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook for exclusive content. Right now, $866 billion market cap for cryptocurrency. Good morning, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating. It's 16,500 plus for Bitcoin right now. We see Ethereum 1,100, just a couple dollars under 1,200. XRP is 38 cents this morning. And let me tell you, if you haven't done it yet, we've got Digital Perspective Mastermind group. Wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving to the people who have joined so far. Let me tell you, this is an investment in yourself, ladies and gentlemen. And this is something, if you've got $2,000, $2,500 to $5,000 at a minimum to invest into crypto, you're going to want to be inside of this group. If you're interested in wealth creation, mindset, success, all of that stuff, I absolutely am so big on that. I've changed my life. If you're interested in doing that also, that's going to be another heavy focus in this group. And let me tell you something very quickly here. The slots are filling up way quicker than I thought, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mess around. Full access to private Telegram group. Weekly live streams are back, ladies and gentlemen. And we won't be duplicating the channel when we do the weekly live streams. Private groups and lessons, which we already have some in there for you now. An exclusive VIP ticket. A VIP ticket to our live event in Las Vegas for the 6-month membership plan. Don't mess around. Those slots have been surprised. Everybody's been surprised me. Very grateful to have the people in there now. Invest in yourself. Click that link underneath the video. John Deaton says it best right here, ladies and gentlemen. And I asked Janet Yellen, I believe it was, if she was going to be attending this thing along with Sam Bankman-Fried, who is scheduled November 30th at $2,400 here to listen to him sit with the New York City mayor and other people, Larry Fink from BlackRock and Janet Yellen from the U.S. Treasury, just to name a few. How is he allowed to go to this thing? I tell you, and I tell you, it's just as John Deaton says here, if this happens, then I've lost all faith in our justice system. And I concur, John Deaton. Let's hope that it doesn't. This was a article that was written in the Wall Street Journal here, and I've got a couple things I'm going to highlight from it here. But you can already feel the narrative being created here by Elizabeth Warren, which she worked on starting last summer. Blame it on crypto, right? You can feel that narrative coming. And politicians like Elizabeth Warren and others who know there is an economic trouble coming, it won't be the economy crash, but more that money has moved away from traditional market investments into this new crypto class. Oh, okay. Yeah. And here's the article itself right here that we're talking about. And I just want to give you these two paragraphs right here and listen to what's going on here. The Treasury Department has also moved existing law to impose sanctions on 2 crypto mixing services like Blender and Tornado Cash, which we all knew, which were used to launder billions of dollars worth of virtual currencies, including hundreds of millions stolen by hackers. Crypto lobbyists howled, but Treasury was right to use its authority, says Elizabeth Warren, to force these entities to comply with the law. A few cases are good, but Justice, SEC, Treasury are the frontline enforcers. Listen to what she says here. They need to act like it every single day. Federal agencies should use their expansive authority to crack down hard on crypto fraud. Congress should back up these law enforcement agencies and financial regulators with more funding. She's not asking for clarity from Gary Gensler, who appears to be the only one aside from Joseph Lubin who knows what clarity actually is. Many crypto executives have armies of lawyers, PR advisors, and paid celebrity supporters, and they seem to think they can escape the laws that apply to everyone else. You know, this is where they try to throw people who are, how is a paid celebrity supporter like Tom Brady supposed to know if FTX fraudulent or not? That's not even applicable to the laws that exist. That's embarrassingly inadequate right there. Oh boy. If the financial cops are going to take on crypto criminals, they need adequate resources to fight and win. She's calling for more money here for the agencies to do exactly what they've been doing. Then she hangs the boat anchor of the subprime mortgages of 2008 and penny stocks from a century earlier to talk about the regulatory gaps and compare it to crypto. Now, I get the penny stock thing. That's not really out of the realm of possibility. But the subprime mortgages was really allowed by the administration at the time because we had a mortgage that worked. You weren't ready to buy a home unless you could afford to get a 30-year mortgage, right? But instead, they chose to introduce subprime mortgages and screw the hell out of everybody who got one. Look, it's hard to say where this is going to go, but I feel like there's still the narrative to get FSOC, which is a combination of really prudential regulators and market regulators, but really has the authority to make regulation without the approval of Congress. And that has been what Elizabeth Warren has been pounding the ground on. And that's why I've hammered the idea for home so much here on the channel that we will see something in that area from FSOC. We'll keep, and that means the Fed and the SEC and the CFTC and the U.S. Treasury and all the agencies together coming out with something here. In the meantime, New York Attorney General proposes legislation banning pension funds from buying cryptocurrency, and that's on top of what we reported yesterday, which is the banning of Bitcoin mining in the New York area. So stay tuned for more on that. This is Molly Elmore. If you're not following Molly, you probably should. Okay, that's what I can tell you there. Shout out to Molly. Even Mike Novogratz is surprised that SBF hasn't been arrested yet. I happen to personally believe that Mike Novogratz is an insider trader with the early investment in the ETH, but that's a conversation we've had on different days. But let me play this for you really quickly.
Let's get your reaction to just the flood of news that we've gotten out of FTX, both from the company's new CEO, of course, who oversaw the upending of the bankruptcy for Enron, who believes that Sam Bankman-Fried treated this company like a personal fiefdom. And then on the other end, I want to talk about the regulatory aspect and what you think the future may hold. But first, as we've seen even memos coming out from Sam Bankman-Fried himself, what do you think?
Yeah, it's shocking to me in some ways. I had some young kids break into my apartment 4 years ago. They stole a couple laptops. And within 3 days, the NYPD had arrested them and they were in jail. I had Sam Bankman-Fried, who, maybe I'm not a judge or a lawyer, but I read my contract, certainly did things with our coins that were illegal. And he's running around the Bahamas, giving press conferences, going on TV. That whole thing kind of surprises me. I think his day will come. I'm shocked that his father, who's supposed to be a lawyer, is letting him talk, or that anyone's actually listening to him, right? Liars lie and will continue to lie. And so
it takes one to know one. But I do agree with him here. What did they say? A broken clock strikes twice a day, right? I mean, that's really what we're listening to here. This is a gentleman who invested in the first unregistered ICO, talking about someone else doing something wrong. I tell you, CNBC is not a network that embarrasses very easily. That much I can tell you. It wasn't weeks ago they were propping up Sam Bankman-Fried as the next Andrew Carnegie or the next Vanderbilt. I mean, it's embarrassing. Breaking news. Bank of Japan has begun coordinating an experiment regarding the issuing of a central bank digital currency with Japan's 3 megabanks. After spending 2 years verifying whether there are any problems with bank account deposits and withdrawals, the Bank of Japan decided whether to go ahead with the CBDC in 2026. You can see this 2025 to 2030 is going to be a hell of a rollout for a bunch of CBDCs, doesn't it? I mean, it's pretty damn obvious. And this is a nice little reminder right here about the Ripple partner Santander from Wrath of Conman, another person you should be following. The LinkedIn page for the head of Santander Payments, FX from Pago Next, is also the RippleNet committee member. Does this add credence to the idea that Pago Next, in addition to OnePay FX, may use RippleNet? I think it may. It doesn't guarantee it, but you can see the connection right here. And then he goes on to say here, it was Crypto Ripple, who first mentioned a friend in the business told them that PagoNext was connecting with RippleNet as well. You can see that old post there. But all of this discussion is primarily centered around Brazil, by the way, brought to mind again from new ODL connections there. Here's the original Santander thread, which we don't need to get into because we know Santander is a Ripple partner. Things happening all the time with the announcement of Ripple connecting more than 40 payout markets that covers 90+% of the FX market of the world, ladies and gentlemen, is a remarkable feat. And isn't this interesting? It's well known that XLM is very similar to XRP. Funny how XLM has never been mentioned by either side in the SEC versus Ripple case. I think in poker, that's what is called a tell. Clarity for XRP is clarity for XLM. I do believe that. We'll see how it shakes out. But look what Ripple put out, ladies and gentlemen. A global stablecoin adoption continues. Well, we have talked about what a global stablecoin is since 2019, I believe it was, when we first saw FSB, the Financial Stability Board, which is really a group of regulators connected to the G20. And yes, it includes the U.S. Treasury. Used to be Brent McIntosh in the past administration because he worked on global stablecoin regulations recommendations for the Financial Stability Board. As global stablecoin adoption continues, new partners like Stably and StasisNet are tapping into the power of the XRP ledger to issue stablecoins. Now, when we go into this right here on Ripple's page is talking about the global stablecoin race is on. And it goes in and it talks about, and there's not, what's shocking about this is not anything specifically written in here, other than you do need to know that, USDS, which is Stably, USDS stablecoin called Stably, and EUROS, or EUROS, so I'll say EUROS, but sounds better. Across multiple, use both of those across multiple blockchain networks aligns Ripple's vision for multi-chain, multi-asset future as banks and regulators also hop on board the multi-asset train. It becomes all more the essential to understand the benefits of public blockchains that interoperate. It goes on to highlight in this paragraph here, why is interoperability so important? Stablecoins rely on an issuer as the counterparty, which hinders them from interoperating across payment networks. But with the XRP ledger, its native digital asset XRP acts as a neutral bridge, ladies and gentlemen. This to me is starting to take shape, is what I see. And as it takes shape, the thing that reminded me about Ripple talking about the global stablecoin race being on, and shout out to Stasis and Stably for launching on the XRP ledger, it took me right back to the World Bank document where we covered this when it came out just November of last year, 1 year ago, when they said from the World Bank that stable coins for cross-border payments are in fact Ripple XRP and Stellar Lumens XLM. And I asked the question then, and I'm asking it now. Does the World Bank have it wrong? Or is XRP and XLM on their way to becoming global stablecoins? Again, I asked the question here. When this came out in 2019, 2020, from Mark Carney and the Group of 30, the former governor of the Bank of England, suggesting at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, at the Federal Reserve Board meeting, that we should consider Ripple and XRP because of the fact that Carney had raised the question of whether globally coordinated systemic hegemonic currency could dampen the spillover shocks associated with the dominance of the U.S. dollar as a reserve currency. In other words, we start to introduce all of these different global stable coins and other stable coins around the world. And then because we have a bridge, a neutral bridge asset in between them, it could isolate and dampen the spillover shocks really making it more isolated to the country that's having trouble itself. That's the idea here, to have an insulary bridge. Not just a bridge, but an insulary bridge to a degree. You know, for example, be a stable coin backed by a basket of deposits at different central banks. How many times I've got the diagrams that I've done. It is possible that such a stable coin could be valuable for cross-border payments, serving as a function similar to that offered in the private sector by Ripple, a real-time gross settlement system, currency exchange, and remittance network whose digital currency XRP leapfrogs slow and expensive correspondent banking, ladies and gentlemen. Now, when I think of that, and the fact that now we're hearing about the global stablecoin race, what it looks like to me is that as we move to the end of this case, and whether it gets an appeal or not, I believe we're setting the stage to introduce what could become a global stablecoin introduction to the world. And maybe, just maybe, XRP and XLM will be the first two to happen. Not financial advice from me or anyone else, and I'm damn sure speculating. These are just my digital perspectives. Click those links underneath the video. It's Black Friday for Ledger. You can get incredible deals, not your keys, not your crypto. Don't mess around and join that group if you're interested in bettering yourself. I tell you right now, you're going to come out that 6-month program on the other side, and you're going to be really, really happy you did. Click that link below, and I'll catch all of you on the next one.